Hello, I'm Todd Gooding, Coordinator of Football Officials for Southern Michigan Football. Today, we're going to continue our series of training videos with another very good week of work by our officials. We're going to take a look at some plays from this past week, number 6. We're going to start with a few kickoff plays. As always, we should be pre-gaming these, how we're going to handle these, our piece of the pie, and how we're going to cover a large area of green. We're going to start with some action here in the middle of the field. Again, a reminder, we're going to want our line of scrimmage officials starting on the pylon, which would be back here, or with the deepest receiver. We're going to focus our attention here about the 48-yard line. We have a player on the return team in chase mode, and we're going to get a block in the back. And the key indicator here, he's going to fall face forward, which is a key indicator that we get him square in the back. So that's an IBB, illegal block in the back. Then we have another hit up here. Right here, we have this block, and this is a good pass by this crew. Side block, open hands. Everything's legal there. So the whole field's a point of attack. That's one we want to work to get there in the middle of the field, help spring a large game. Just some mechanic stuff again. Our line of scrimmage official starting on the 20 here. This is an old mechanic. We're going to want the referee deeper, especially on the opening kickoff, till we gauge how well they're kicking the ball. And we're going to want our line of scrimmage on the pylon. So what we have here is we have an official going backwards to get the spot of the KOB. And who knows what kind of contact, blocking, or anything else that we're going to have behind the play. So we want to officiate these plays going forward, because if we have a block here, unnecessary block, you've seen some stuff there. We're just going to want to be able to, we're going to want to officiate these going forward. No different than if we have a play, we have blockers coming, and we're going backwards to see the returner get the ball. We're going to end up missing a key block. Again, similar type action. This time, where we pick up the ball, we're going to be straight lined. Our line of scrimmage is almost working even or ahead. We're not, it's going to be tough to see any illegal blocks ahead of the runner from this angle. We also have another problem. As we go forward, we're going to run in to another official. So whether it's the line judge and umpire, it's probably second half. So we'll have a head linesman and a back judge. We don't need 4 sets of eyes at one location. We need all the help we can get and cover in the field. We need that. Make sure that we're covering the field from a spacious capacity, to say the least. So back judges should be working towards the center of the field. Line of scrimmage should be trailing this play up so we can get a wider angle and see any blocks. We definitely don't need 2 players at the same spot marking the line, the end of the run. We're gonna look at some formations early in the game. By philosophy, we're going to give a warning, if possible, 1 warning to the offense, 1 to the PAT team, 1 to the punt team. This is a case where it's probably egregious. This is play 26, so we want to get this corrected early in the game. But clearly we're outside we're not breaking the hip of the center. Clearly this left tackle is fouling. So this is one we can start with a foul, but we're definitely going to at least get a warning to the coach and to the player. And then after that, we're definitely going to be fouling this. Anything egregious, sometimes we will bypass the initial warning because this is simply not a legal formation. Similar situation here. We're going to look for another illegal formation. We've got 4 players in the backfield. Got 2 here. And we have 2 right here, obviously. So we have 4. So if we're deeming this legal, then we have both these receivers on the line of scrimmage. Okay. So if we deem this legal, we need to have a run play. And so clearly we're putting this receiver in, otherwise, so we got him covered up. So one way or another, we have a foul here. We have more than 4 in the backfield. If we're deeming him off, and if we're putting him on, we need to have a run play out of this. And as you can see, we're going to throw out of this. So that receiver never goes out. So we have to have our awareness. So this would be legal play here. We have a suspect IDP. Would be cognizant of. We're snapping at the 42. We're going to be legal there too. So we have 4 in the backfield. We just have to be cognizant of where we're putting our receivers on or off. Clearly, it's a design play. Everyone's legal. So this is where we got to have our antennas up. This play is not fouled, so therefore it's ruled correctly, but make sure we know our formations. We're going to look at an IDP here. Right here. This lineman goes directly out. About 3-4 yards at the release. Ball's released, and we're definitely 3 yards downfield. This is one we miss. The key to getting IDPs is in our pre-snap. We want to have landmarks. So we want to know we're snapping from the 50, and we're going to be part of our line of scrimmage pre-snap checklist is where we would have a player fouling. Then when we see where that player is, when he gets to fouling territory, in this case, we want to make sure he's clearly. So he's 3 yards down, all body, foot at 3 feet, and we look back and the ball's released. So this is one we can have an IDP on. So what we have here, so we kind of have a late substitution here. Player comes on. One starts to come on, one starts to come off. Then we allow this to run. Okay, we want to shut this down. This is called a false start of the second act kind. Okay, we don't want to make their problems our problems. So clearly the player never comes in to get set, just runs motion. We're just going to shut this down, make this a false start, back it up 5 yards and save ourselves some future problems. So by philosophy, we're going to shut this down. Nothing good's going to come out of this. So the sub never comes in, gets in position, and he's moving at the snap. So just shut this down. It's a false start. of the second act kind. So we want to foul on that 5 yards. Okay, we're gonna have a forward backward pass here. Remember, point of release to point of touch. I just want to have some clarity here. Okay. That line judge trying to get a good look at this. We'd like to rule on this, some factor, some key. We definitely want to punch this back. Line of scrimmage official that it's coming at is going to have the best look. Release from the 49. Touch 49. Okay, this is tight. Now here's where we're different on philosophy from games you watch on Saturdays at the D1 level or NFL level. In the high school game, because we don't have replay, we're going to rule anything sideways forward. Okay, now when you watch your games on Saturday or Sunday, line of scrimmage are going to rule this play here backwards, but they also have replay to help them get it right. So just something to, a little bit of clarity in the difference. We get a good look at point of release, point of touch, 49. We got this forward, and I'm fine if a line of scrimmage wants to punch something forward if it's within a yard. But we're definitely punching all passes backward if we have it backward. We have to know so we don't have inadvertent whistles. Unfortunately, like those working at the higher levels, we don't have replay. So got a couple holding plays. We always talk about consistency and communication. Well, here's a example of consistency of the same game. We have a right tackle here we're going to focus on. Watch his feet. His feet are beat, and we got a takedown. So he just gets overpowered here. Then he tries to gain advantage. So we got 75 right tackle with a takedown, which is a correct call here. Now, what's different here is we're starting inside. Anything we snap from the 15 in, our back judge is going to be on the end line. So we're well positioned here. And this is the one difference in 5-man mechanics. For our line of scrimmage, we need to work even or slightly ahead of the ball on the 15 in. Anywhere else, we're trying to work behind the play 5 to 7 yards. So line of scrimmage is going to work to the pylon. Going to still stay with his key. The right tackle. Going to get the foul. And he's got his hands up. Right here, when your hands are up, it's a good indicator of a guilty party. Same game, same two teams. Now another culprit. We're going to focus here on our right tackle here. He's going to somewhat get beat to the inside by 32 in purple. Then we're going to get it good. Again. 32 with the under move. And he's beat, feet, indicator, beat, blow by, grab. There you go. Grab and restrict. And what we have here, we get the foul here. Now, stay with your initial responsibilities and your zone, and you key up then. And we're going to watch, and we have a suspect blindside block here that we might miss. So it's tough, a lot going on in the referee and line of scrimmage officials' kitchen. But we got to keep officiating. Now we're trying to get that foul. We're trying to get the number. We're processing. Now it looks like our referee's staying with that. But we also need to keep going because we have a suspect blindside block here by number 9 white. So a lot going on in this play. We're gonna look at a couple UNRs, late hit out of bounds. And we get a bump, and we can see it better on this next view. So by philosophy here, players, Blue's giving himself up, blue 4 here. Now so now we got a foot in the white. This is what we're looking for. There is an element time. It's a fast game. We get it, but here's where it's going to become a foul. We got a foot in the white. 4's giving himself up. Then we have late contact out of bounds. Good job by the head linesman here to get this UNR. Similar play. We're going to have a sideline play here near side. We get a foul here, and I think this is one we can pass on. So the runner's trying to gain yards, and he's going up the sideline, and this is tight, but he hasn't really given himself up yet. And it's tight whether he's in or out. We got to give the defense a little bit of latitude here. We get a foul on this one, and this is one that I think we can pass on. So kind of two different looks at potential UNR late hit out of bounds. So it is football. It definitely is football. So we're going to look at another UNR here. This is just a kind of a UNR. This is kind of a DAB, but this is a blindside block we're going to see. Really unnecessary. Right here is the contact. Okay, we don't need that. That's not a verbal warning. That's a foul. Unnecessary. So we need a UNR foul there. Blindside block, unnecessary roughness. And that's key because that's a 4th down stop there. And that's going to give White a first down. I'm sorry, that's blue ball. So they're stopped anyways. It's going to back them up on the punt if we get this foul, though. So umpire's going to have a look at this. This line of scrimmage official should have a look at that. So good dead ball officiating. It's what we want to be good at. Same thing. This is a block below the waist. Really good get by the crew. Really definitely a safety foul here. Player gives himself up. And then we're going to have 33 go low. I mean, we got to remember special teams sometimes aren't starters, so they're going to make bad plays. But this is definitely a safety foul. Umpire a little tight to the action, but definitely sees it. We get a foul down. Good get here. We can't, there's no room for that. We can't have players getting injured because of plays like this. Good job by the crew to get that. Here's another look at it. Low block. Back judge should have a look at that as well. Lot going on this one. So there's multiple things going on. We have a snap. We're going to focus our attention. Got a couple things to look at here. I'm going to be right here. And we're going to be right here. Okay. So we got a low block here on the shield player. He's not in the free blocking zone. We should have a foul up top. Right here. And then we're going to have a legal use of hands to the face. or a helmet comes off that we miss. And we cover the goal line, get a good look at that from the back judge, well positioned. So again, we have this low block. Referee is going to have that. Should have that. And we got a hands to the face. We got to know why this helmet comes off. Sometimes they wear them loose, but this one clearly we have a legal use of hands. Now, if we have an 020 system, we're going to report this as hands to the face. Okay, it's just a lot clearer to the fans instead of having a legal use of hands. So we can just report this on 020 field mics as legal use of hands. But we need to get those fouls. We've seen a few of those lately, and we're not getting those. So just something to keep in mind. Then we bring that ball out for a touchback. Well done by the back judge. Couple more. We always talk about let your mind digest what your eyes have seen. And we shut it down. So we need to process these plays and get a good look at them. Take that extra second, be patient. It's better to have a late whistle than an early whistle. This ball's coming out before his knees are down. And we blow this dead. So that ball's coming out. This is a possible return for white. So we got to be cognizant of what we're calling. It's better to be late than early in this situation. So again, this is kind of along that motto we've been saying, let your mind digest what your eyes have seen. That'd be considered. He rules them down, but really this is an inadvertent whistle. We call them IWs. Just a few more mechanics play. So we have a score. So we're going to let our line of scrimmage rule on this. Okay, we don't want umpires making signals. All right. If we have a pile up and you got the ball in, you want to set the ball where you have it. That's one thing, but let's try to refrain from giving signals. And we definitely don't want our back judge signaling goal line plays. That tells me right now that we already have the two people that are supposed to be ruling on this are the line of scrimmage. And now we have two other people that are indicating they have a touchdown. That means we have 4 people watching the ball. Well, we have 22 players out there. So just be cognizant of what we're actually ruling on, because line of scrimmage only will have the touchdown on this if they deem it in. Okay. Just something to think about. Okay. This is a mechanics play. This is a punt breakdown. And we need to know what we're doing. We got a bad snap. Okay, so where are we at? Where's the line of scrimmage? Okay, well, we snap from the 44, right? 43. We're snapping from the 43 on this play. So we need to know and hold that line of scrimmage. So how are we going to do that? We need to be cognizant. We got our referee here. And we have our line judge here. Now in this play, our line judge retreats. And we actually need him to stay home because we have it boxed in with our other line of scrimmage official, the head linesman here. So the head linesman's going to flow back on. The head linesman is going to help box this in. So we just need to make sure we have this covered. So we got to make sure one of us do. Line of scrimmage gets back to the 43 because he picks this up and then we have a pass or he punts it. We still need to know where the line of scrimmage is on this play. So ideally, we'd like line judge to hold the line of scrimmage there, and H can flow back with this. Then we get a block. We end up getting a blindside block out of this, which was a good call. Again, plays that break down, sudden change play, the kicking game. Basically, where all hell breaks loose. That's usually where we have our fouls. And right there, we have number 80 on a blindside block, which we do get. And we got out of this without any damage. But again, just from a mechanics standpoint, let's be cognizant of how we're breaking this down. So H is here at the bottom. Him and the referee have it boxed in. We're going to want our line of scrimmage to hold. And again, we say this almost weekly. This is why we do not leave the line of scrimmage on punts until the ball crosses our face. It does us no good to have a line of scrimmage official down at the 40 or 30, not paying attention. And these are the reasons why. So we got to take care of this area before we go downfield. We got the back judge down there to hold shop till we get there. So just a good play to discuss with your crew. One we dodged a bullet on. Good coverage by the referee to get to the goal line. That's great hustle. Can't do that much better. Works his way back up, trails the play. Line judge does get the blindside block. We just would like to have him holding that line of scrimmage. We got a ING play, intentional grounding. This is well done by the crew. Now, what I would advise, now we're getting behind, we're trying to get behind this play. And that's a long way to look across for this line of scrimmage. I can tell you the guys at the next level on RPOs and plays like this, and this is another reason we try to keep the white clear. We're going to want to just get deeper in this bench like this and hold this line of scrimmage, because as this quarterback comes out, we're going to need to rule if the ball gets to the line of scrimmage. Now, clearly he's outside the free blocking zone, but we need to know if the ball gets to the 47. And this one, they can piece it together. And that's tight, okay? This is tight, but the crew gets together, they piece it together, and they get it right, and the ball's maybe gets to the 45. So as line of scrimmage, we always tell you that get behind the running plays. And something to think about. I mean, official safety is primary, but these are plays where a line of scrimmage official, you may want to work deeper into the bench, because that way you can hold the line of scrimmage. Not ideal, but your other line of scrimmage may not have a ruling on if this ball gets to the line of scrimmage. Luckily, the referee and the line of scrimmage official agree that does not get there. So good job by the crew piecing it together. Remember, intentional groundings are crew plays. So just a few things that may help you rule on that. And finally, as we talk kicking game, and another reason we try to clear the white. This is a tight sideline, but we cannot have coaches. Again, player safety, health and safety, officials, health and safety, coaches, health and safety. We can't be working around coaches because they're up near the field, okay? 5 yards, you're avoiding the contact, but we don't, if one of us don't see it, we have a collision, we could have an injury, we definitely have 15-yard penalty. Again, sidelines have to be clear when the ball goes live. All right. Well, that'll conclude this week's training tape. We hope these plays are helpful from a rules and officiating philosophy standpoint. Use them in your pregame. Let's get ready to work week 7. Again, we want quality fouls and no ticky-tack fouls this week. Let's display integrity, courage, and poise. And let's let the tight situations reveal our true character this week. Travel safe and have a great game. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week for week 8.